What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Hey man, I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time now. So today I want to talk to you guys about some of the pros and cons of content ID. I know a lot of y'all are creating music, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are getting beats from a lot of different sources. A lot of y'all are not actually in the rooms creating from scratch with the producers that you're working with. A lot of y'all are claiming music that may not be yours, and you may not be even thinking that you're doing it, but it's so easy and so obvious when you distribute your music that it's easy to make this mistake, okay? So the first thing that I want to go over is, what is Content ID? So in simplest terms, Copyright ID is a digital fingerprinting system developed by Google, which is used to easily identify and manage copyrighted content on YouTube videos, right? Now, videos uploaded to YouTube are compared against audio and video files registered with Content ID by content owners looking for any matches. So when you release a song, of course, in your distribution process, when you upload a song, you know, you get to choose where your music goes. Your Spotify's, your Apple Music's, your Tidals, your Amazon's, all of that stuff. But you also have the option to have your music distributed to YouTube. And basically, when you select to activate Content ID, once your song is active on YouTube, the Content ID system is going to actively scrub the data for any matches of people using the elements in your song. And those elements can easily be your voice, your hook, your rap, your R&B, you know, vocals, whatever. But of course, you also have the underlying music, which is the beats, right? So now, if you're leasing a beat from Beatstars, and I have a lot of conversations about Beatstars on this page, not because I'm against them. I think they are probably the best option for artists just starting out to find production that fits your taste. However, when you decide to start taking music more seriously, or at least semi-seriously, you're going to want to start trying to find an avenue out of Beatstars. You're going to want to start connecting with producers directly, maybe email some of the guys that you found on Beatstars, see if y'all can formulate some type of direct relationship where you can get tracks from them that aren't available online, because this is going to help you out in the long run. So going back to your distribution process, if you choose Content ID on your song, right? But you got your beat from Beatstars, you paid $30 or $60 for a lease, or you might have paid $150 for what they call an unlimited lease. You know what I mean? Even if you paid for that, you are not the owner of that beat. Therefore, if you claim Content ID on that, anybody else that uses that beat from that time forward, you're running the risk of your song being confused for theirs. So let's say artist X puts out a record and they had the same beat off of Beatstars, and both of y'all purchased the same lease, you know what I'm saying? But say I'm in a club and artist X song comes on and I'm like, oh man, this song is so amazing, let me Shazam it. And when I go to Shazam it and I want to see artist X come up and know their name and the name of the song, your song comes up, right? So initially, being that I don't know the difference between the two artists, I'm going to go and say, oh, that's artist Z. Cool. When I get home, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to add it to my playlist. Then when I get home and I decide to actually follow through with it and I go to artist Z's song, I'm going to hear the same beat, but now I'm hearing all new vocals. I'm hearing a tune that I didn't fall in love with when I heard it at the club. Now, if you were the exclusive owner of that track, that would be perfectly fine, because that would mean that somebody is doing a derivative work of something that you did, or that you and your people created exclusively, and now people are biting off of it, sampling it, recreating it, etc. Yes, you should have the ability to claim that. However, we're working in a new music business, right? Beat licensing and all of these things, they've been around for a while, but they didn't really become prevalent until the mid 2010s. You feel me? That's when artists like Designer blew up off of a Beatstars beat. You know what I'm saying? He might have paid $30, or he might even swiped Panda off of YouTube without paying for it. He puts it out on SoundCloud. Pusha T gets an ear for it. Oh man, that's dope. People are liking it. He passes it off to Kanye. Kanye's like, oh man, this is our new artist on Good Music. You feel me? Then he does a remake of the song for his album. But the original producer is like, bro, y'all gonna have to cut me in on that. So then the producer, the original producer of Panda, ended up getting a nice payout because it was his beat. Can't be running off on the plug with these beats, man. But these type of things were not happening in the 90s. They weren't happening in the mid 2000s. So if you're leasing beats, you should not be electing for content ID on your tracks. I know it may hurt you guys' feelings. You might feel some type of way. I might get some not so nice comments about saying that. But in reality, if you don't own the beat, you should not be collecting royalties on content ID, because really the beat is the main fingerprint that they're going to be checking for anyway. Now, another way that content ID is becoming a problem is in the production community, right? Now, in some cases, these producers are putting out beats on Beatstars, License Lounge, all of these different places where you could get beats for very cheap. However, by the time they actually put it up on YouTube and all of these different places, they've already uploaded the beat as its own song, right? So they've already beat you to the punch. They've gone to the DistroKids, the United Masters, etc., uploaded that beat and gave it a name, right? And then they elect for that same beat to be in content ID, right? Because they're the original owner, so you can't get mad at it. However, it does become a problem because now, if you go create a song, your artist Z, remember, you go in the studio, you make a record, you put it in on Shazam, you know what I mean? But now, let's say your song comes on in the club. Oh man, that's fire. Who is that? Boom, Shazam it. And now that original producer's beat comes up. Oh, it's producer A. You know what I mean? Which is true. But you didn't necessarily want to hear the instrumental. You wanted to hear the song that came out in the club. You want to hear artist Z, but you're not finding it. This is another way that content ID is messing up the game. Now, because the producer did create the track, they are the owner of it. They do have the right to do that. But of course, when you start getting all of these analytics and data together, it becomes an issue because people are not then able to find the stuff that they're actually looking for. They're finding different versions of things that are not exactly what they're looking for. So that becomes a problem. You start getting confused, and what's going to happen? If the person gets confused, they're going to close out of the app. They're going to go about their business and probably never come back to it because it's like, it's too much work to find this record. It's not that dope anyway. Gone. Now everybody lost. Another way that content ID is messing up the game in the production world is because a lot of the producers out here, and again, I don't want to get no smoke from you guys, but a lot of you guys are not able to create beats on your own, right? A lot of you guys are really good at drum programming, but you're not so good at creating melodies. You're not so good at creating your own loops and things of that nature. So now you're getting producers that are giving you loops. The loop game is very, very competitive. You know what I'm saying? You got producers that are reaching out in your inbox. Hey, man, I got some loops for you. Just give me 25%. Give me 50%. A lot of people don't know what percentage they should even be getting on the publishing for creating these loops, right? But then you have uneducated people that are creating these loops and they say, okay, producer over here made a beat out of my loop. He put a whole new drum pattern to it, blah, blah, blah. We're co-producers. But then they go and create and they go and upload the beat themselves and try to claim content ID because they want to make money. Everybody's in it to make $1 and get whatever kind of pennies you could get off of those royalties. So now, without communicating with your co-producer, like, hey man, are we able to claim content ID on this? You go and do it yourself without speaking to the producer you collab with. So now your content, all the content ID royalties for this track are going to you when you're actually supposed to be splitting it with somebody else, right? But there's a lot of misinformation, miseducation going on about how these things need to be structured, and people are just making moves because they can. Not because you should or you're supposed to, but because it's available. Like I said, you could go on DistroKid right now, upload a song that's not even yours, and you could do all of these things, content ID, claim all the royalties for it. There's actually a big scandal going on where millions of dollars have been duped from YouTube, from people releasing songs that they don't own and collecting royalties for it. So for those of y'all that are watching this, like, I hope y'all don't get no bright ideas, because folks is about to go to jail for this shit. Some folks is finna get their wages garnished over this type of shit. So don't get too gassed and think, oh, maybe I could do that, hit a lick, because you gonna get licked up. Pause. Now, the benefit of Content ID is if you're somebody that's creating and crafting music, original music, all by yourself. Maybe you have a songwriter in the studio with you, or you may have a songwriter that you're emailing beats back and forth to, and y'all are working exclusively. Nobody else is getting access to these beats. You're not playing them for other people. You haven't put them on no CD or no USBs for other people to go listen to, and all of a sudden, once you make your song, they decide they want to remix it. Like, if y'all are creating handcrafted music and you want to claim all of the available royalties for your songs, you're well within your rights to do so. But for all of you people leasing beats, paying $30, $50, I don't care if it's $150 for a license, if you're not getting the exclusive agreement and exclusive rights to that beat, you should not be claiming Content ID on that song. You can still put it on Shazam, because that is an option as well. But do not claim Content ID, because you are not the copyright content owner for that track. All right. I know this is going to be tough. I know there's a lot of people that are going to see this video, or people that will see this video, and they're going to ignore what I'm saying. And that just comes with the territory. But don't say nobody ever forgot to tell you. Don't say you've never heard this information if you come across this video. Okay. I think it's very important that y'all know this, and I'm going to do my best to continue to give you guys the best information that I can to help artists, to help producers, to help all music creators throughout the world to have a more equitable share in what you're doing. But it's going to start with creating music from scratch with people that you actually know, so that if anything comes up with your music, if somebody wants to put your song in a TV show, a movie, an advertisement, you're not going and scrambling to figure out who really did what, because y'all did it together. You got it. You could call your homie. You could email your homie. You could send him a text. Hey, man, this company wants to use our song. Hey, we both got to sign off on this sheet. Boom, boom, boom. Job done. Send me the check. That's what you should want to accomplish in this game. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.